It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Hello, folks, and welcome to the Max Sports. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for sports talk.
And take three.
Happy Tuesday.
Okay. How we doing, Max?
We're doing great.
How you doing, Brother Bob?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, Max, I heard some news about today. Do you know what today is?
I don't know. I'm going to guess here. Is it, I don't know. Tell me, Bob.
I think somebody's turning 80 today.
Who's turning 80? Drew?
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Drew. Yeah, you should have told us.
They didn't know that on take 2. But on take 3 here, they all know it. Say, yeah, it's my birthday.
And you are not 80.
Not 80.
Did you know that Drew was born the same year that JFK had an assassination?
I think it was a couple years after I heard.
A couple years after?
He was in 63. JFK was assassinated. I was born in 65.
Wow.
That's my link to history.
Yep.
My birthday link to history.
You were born before we landed man on the moon.
That's true, and I remember that as a kid. That's how old I am. But speaking of old, or what's getting old, is our take 3. No, I'm just joking. Inside joke there, guys. What's not getting old is the play of the 49ers.
They looked good last night.
I told you they were trending up last week, as I told you the Vikings were trending down. But let's talk a little 49er.
Every week, that offense is getting a little bit more complicated, a little bit more complex, doing some interesting things. That one end around reverse that they had for 40 some odd yards, that was a thing of beauty.
In Spurs land, that would be called beautiful basketball. But we'll call beautiful football in the NFL. You know, Shanahan's able now to put together some moving parts. He's got some tools to work with. And I think the big difference is Jimmy G doesn't have the weight of the game on his shoulders anymore.
No.
He's got a checkoff receiver now, not to mention a great blocker, not to mention a phenomenal runner, and McCaffrey.
And I was thinking about it this morning on the drive in. His biggest ability is his lack of ego. He threw for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns last night. That was it.
Oh, you just like his cute dimples. Just admit it.
Well, that too, but he's not Zach Wilson, who's going in there and dissing on his defense.
Wow.
Oh, Zach, I watched that game.
He needs to be. They need to bench him.
I watched that game. That was pitiful. I think they had -3 yards. I mean, that game was pitiful.
His mouth is making a check that Salah is going to cash, and he's going to find himself riding the pine.
Yeah, they need a QB over there in New York.
It's bad.
But that's the thing with Jimmy G. I heard all the hate this morning about, do you win the game if you got to rely on Jimmy? I don't care if I don't have to, if I'm not going to put myself in that position. That defense is getting healthy. Oh, my God. McCoy looked like a tackling dummy.
Yeah, the defense looks strong. So can we say in the NFC East, in the NFC, probably trending, the only competitor, really, the true competitor to the 49ers, would you agree, probably be the Seahawks at this point?
No.
Who else can step up and really challenge in that conference?
In that conference, I still like the Eagles. I still like Jalen Hurts.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I want the Cowboys in the playoffs just for the purpose of Cowboys fans getting so hyped up about their chances for a Super Bowl and watching their hopes dashed.
It's typical Cowboy talk. They have one good game, and now everybody was Super Bowl. And I'm saying playoffs?
Oh, they're getting in the playoffs.
Playoffs?
They have to get in the playoffs.
Not so fast, my friend.
No, the NFC, they have a rule in football. You have to put in 3 wild card teams, and you have to put in 4 division winners. So we're not going to get a wild card out of the NFC North. We're not going to get a wild card out of the NFC South. So I have 2 divisions for 3 wild cards. NFC West, not going to be the Rams and the Cardinals. Guess what? So it's the 49ers and the Seahawks making the playoffs, which means I got 2 wild cards coming from the NFC East.
Could be the Manders and Giants.
Yeah,
could be the Manders and Giants, but I think it's more likely it's the Manders and the Cowboys.
I I would tend to agree with you, which means I'm going to win my bet if you don't have the Giants in there, because they're going to finish at 500, which I said they were going to do when they were 7-2, and you guys mocked me for my pizza.
Well,
Pizza.
Our pizza.
Yeah, our pizza. Yeah, but except I remember me talking preseason, and I haven't said anything about this. I likened the Giants to a dumpster fire with an insult to the dumpster and the fire.
Any New York football team at this point is a dumpster fire.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm hearing, Bob, is we're going to have the Philadelphia Eagles taking a bye, and then you're going to have the Cowboys and Washington in the playoffs with Minnesota, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, and Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can see that. That looks like that's the way it's going to trend. I see with all that in the NFC Championship game, I think it's going to be San Francisco and and the Cowboys.
I mean, it could be a rematch of last year, but all things being considered, like I've said before, when you put the two teams together, the only team that's made some serious personnel moves that have actually can change the dynamics of the game are San Francisco when they picked up McCaffrey, which was just a great trade. I mean, when that trade happened, I said that's the difference. Now the key is, can McCaffrey stay healthy?
Yeah, that's a good
That's the key to a lot of.
Yeah, but you're not putting so much of a reliance on him that you're putting him out there getting ready to get hurt.
Absolutely, I agree.
That was his problem in Carolina, was he was half a good portion of their offense, so you had to put him in harm's way. He's like Allen in Buffalo. That's my dig against Buffalo. You're always relying on Allen, and quite frankly, he's up to the task a good majority of the time. It's just you're putting him in harm's way.
You remember, though, Jerry Jones, after Thanksgiving, he's going to get in his chopper, and he's going to meet with Odell Beckham Jr., so.
Please.
Is that breaking news?
Yes, we heard it.
I would say that probably Odell Beckham's going to get in Jerry's chopper and fly out to meet Jerry. Jerry doesn't fly out in choppers to meet NFL players.
So if he signs Odell, that's an addition. So
It could help. It could help. I don't think it's going to be different.
Is it really an addition, or is it subtraction by addition? I
think it'll help.
If I was a Cowboys fan, I would not want Odell, because I think it skews play calling. Yes, it does give them an explosive threat downfield, but for me, I think it's more about locker room chemistry and forcing by necessity Kellen Moore to call an offense that is run first, pass second.
And I think he proved it against Minnesota. You know why I think they're going to go for Odell and Jerry Jones is going to push that? Because you got Michael Irvin and these guys, everybody all over Twitter trying to get him to recruit him. But they're going to do that to keep him away from the Giants. But not just that. Michael Irvin said it. He's like, you know what? With his personality, he is a Cowboy already. Mm-hmm. So I think with that addition, what Drew mentioned earlier, it's just going to make it interesting, but it'll kind of even up the playing field, because right now I do see San Francisco the favorite in the NFC.
So Odell Beckham is a bloviating blowhard. That's a Cowboy personality?
With 5 Super Bowl trophies, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got his bona fides, and the fact also that, the thing about Odell Beckham, he kind of passed the test last year. He was a good citizen. I didn't hear any negative comments about any kind of locker room chemistry he was disrupting. So he may be one of those rare NFL receivers that's kind of put his ego aside. He's kind of learned the lessons of the Antonio Browns and others and said, you know what?
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's still on media platform.
Oh, my God. Did you see the shade he was throwing at Derek Carr?
Talk about someone that should be banned from Twitter. No one should be banned from Twitter. But
know,
that guy.
And did you see that picture he tweeted out of Giselle? This guy.
Yeah. As to Odell Beckham, I will call it. If the Cowboys sign him, the Cowboys regress. They don't look, they start to look worse with Odell. That's what I'm going to call.
Only if they feel like they got to become a throw-first offense, which is my biggest beef with them. They've got a 2-back running back tandem and just keep it like that. Grind it out.
Drew, I think you hit the nail on the head. The Cowboys are going to keep running the ball until they get stopped. I don't think.
That's assuming intelligent play calling by Moore and McCarthy, and I think you're assuming a little too much.
That's true. Well, keeping with that NFL theme, last week we all went 2-1. We don't have to go over all the picks that were, but if we're keeping track of our totals,
Drew is 20-13, Bob is 15-18, and Max is 13-11.
I'm going 4-0 this week to mount 500.
well, why don't we go over it? We're going to do the Thanksgiving games.
The Thanksgiving games.
And Monday night. I also put Monday night.
Okay. So take note, kids. I'm 20-13.
And it's his birthday. And it's his birthday, so he's going to wow you. So write this down. On Thanksgiving Day, we're going to start off with the 11:30 game, and it's the Bills that are they're staying in Detroit because they're playing the Lions. And
Oh my God, that's right.
and you have the Bills at -9.5.
Their new home field, Detroit, for the Buffalo Bills.
So are we going to go with the Bills that are favored? Well, you got to take if you get the points, it's -9.5.
I mean, Detroit always puts up a fight for the most part. I just think that Buffalo's defense will be overwhelming. I think that the Lions' offense is a little, what I would call, underwhelming. So I'm going to go ahead and take Buffalo, and I'm going to give the points.
So you're taking Buffalo, and you're going to give. So you're saying Buffalo's going to win by more than 9.5?
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Lions.
I'm taking the Lions and the points. I think this will be close. The Lions are playing for respect.
Okay.
Buffalo doesn't need to run it up. They just need to win, baby.
I just want to thank you guys in advance. The Lions perennially shit the bed on Thanksgiving, and I don't see any reason why they won't this year.
Because I have two of their players on fantasy, and
You got a dog in the hunt.
I got a dog in the next game. The Cowboys and the Giants. We have the Giants and the Cowboys both at 7-3, with Dallas -9.
Wow, that went up. I think it was opened at 7 or something.
It did go up.
Well, Bob, it's an interdivisional game, and he doesn't like to give that many points. You know what? The Giants are horrible. Haven't been impressed with them all year. That's a lot of points. I think the Cowboys came off that high. They're another team that never fails to disappoint on Thanksgiving. I think it comes down to a field goal. I think the Cowboys probably win, but I don't think they cover the points. Give me the points.
So you're going to go with the Giants and the points?
Saquon Barkley goes off.
Okay.
And runs for 60 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Okay. Bob?
I kind of want the Cowboys to win just to increase the love of their fans for their team, just so they can be dashed even harder. I don't think they cover. I think the Giants come back and play for respect on Thanksgiving for that turkey leg. Giants cover the spread and win outright.
Ooh, heard it first.
I'm paying for the juice and taking the Giants on the money line.
Man, that's big money there.
Okay, Bob's saying they're winning outright. All right, so I have that penciled in there.
Oh, who do you have, Homer?
I took the Cowboys.
Of course you did.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's gonna...
Oh, my God. See, Cowboy fans, y'all have one blowout. Now every game's going to be a blowout.
Well, no, I'm not a fan. I grew up in Dallas. That's a town for me. That's my hometown. So,
all right, who we getting the late game?
And I do drink the Kool-Aid. Okay, and then the late game.
I lived there for 3 years. I saw a lot of Kool-Aid being drunk.
There's some nice Kool-Aid there.
Yeah.
There is. The Patriots and the Vikings, and on that one we have the Vikings at 8-2 now, and the Patriots at 6-4, and it's going to be the Minnesota right now Vikings at -2.5.
Wow.
Well, both teams have been. Are they playing at Viking Land?
They're playing at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Gorgeous facility.
That's my game of the week. The Vikings. I watched New England. They're sad, really sad. I understand the Vikings just laid an egg. Back at home, they cover handily, 33-10.
So you're
Vikings
taking
in a blowout.
Okay. Bob?
I don't understand this line other than recency bias. Okay, fine. The Cowboys came in there and beat them up. Cowboys have a really, really good defense when they know you have to pass. I don't know if the Patriots can hang with the Vikings. They scored 10 points on the Jets, and only because that guy returned that kick.
3 points.
No, so they really only scored 3 points. Yeah. Exactly. Give me the Vikings, lay the points. If this was 7 or 10 points, I'd still take the Vikings and lay the points.
That's the bet of the week for me, kids.
Well, I'm taking the Patriots because they're my defense on fantasy, and they actually scored me 17 points with the sacks and that run back. So their defense is good, but you know what? Their offense is not that good. But I think the Vikings are going to be licking their wounds. I said licking the wounds.
No. The Vikings are coming back, and this is my consistent thing for the day. Vikings are playing for respect at home after that beatdown the boys gave them. They're coming out strong, baby.
His name is Bob.
I'm with Bob on that one.
Okay.
And then the Monday night game.
Monday night.
Oh, my God. Can we not watch this game?
Oh, my God. It is a Monday night. They're going to actually let them play. It's going to be the Steelers 3-7 against the Colts 4-6-1. And the Colts minus 2.5.
That's the stinker game of the week.
Oh, my God. I don't know how much. You know what? I'm just going to take the points. I'm going to take the Colts with the points on this one. Yeah, I don't.
You mean the Colts giving the points?
No, the Colts giving the points. Yeah, I said that back. I said that. Yeah. No. Yes, I'm giving the points.
I'll take the home team, lay the 2.5. It's a field goal game. Who the hell cares?
Again, that's the Colts and
the Steelers.
Give me Steelers.
Okay. Steelers. The Steelers.
I think Kenny Pickens he can't throw, but he can run. So that may be the difference maker.
The Steelers have 7 games to get Tomlin over 500 and preserve that streak of his that he's never had a losing season.
Don't underestimate.
I just don't want to watch this game.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, I think I'm going to wash my hair on Monday night.
I think I'll be giving myself my own root canal for that tooth that's been hurting.
I'm going to cut my toenails
off. I'll rip them off.
While I'm watching the game.
Actually,
you'll rip your toenails off and then you watch them grow back because this game is going to feel as long as that's going to take.
Actually, the room that I painted that afternoon, I'm going to watch it dry that night.
There you go.
We are sorry to all the Steelers players and Colts players and staff. We think you're all great people. We just don't want to watch this game, dudes.
But one game we all will be watching.
Ooh, at the Horseshoe.
Beloved Buckeyes at the Shoe. And
major implications.
I think Harbaugh is a little pissed off right now. Can I tell you why?
Why?
So it appears that their star running back, Corum, I believe it's Corum. Forgive me if I say it wrong. Corum. He was injured last week, and the extent of the injury wasn't divulged to the media. Probably for game planning purposes, which are very important in this game. And one of his teammates came out on Twitter and said, we're going to win it for our running back.
Wow.
That looked like a weird injury, too. It didn't look... The player, the back's reaction to the injury, yes, that looked bad. But what led up to it, the actual action... It didn't look like it was going to result in a bad injury.
Well, Dale Earnhardt's car wreck didn't look that bad either.
Well, yeah, but that was before they introduced hands.
That's too soon.
And the neck snap back.
Ouch.
See, you're actually talking to somebody who knows racing.
Hey, but do you think Harbaugh's having to come to Jesus meeting with that kid that tweeted out because that totally changes. When you're game planning for a running back who's got like 1,400 yards, 18 scoring touchdowns, and now you know that he's not playing.
Did it change the line? Because I was just going to ask you, Drew, because the line now is Ohio State minus 7.5.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I would have thought the line would have been even before that.
Yeah, I probably would have opened up at around 5.5.
I was thinking 5, yeah.
Yeah, but never bet a team you have an emotional attachment to. But the Buckeyes at home, the thing about the Buckeyes is they can just, what I call Pat Green you, they can just wave on waves. So if one guy goes down,
country singer guys,
another 4-star steps up. If he goes down, and I think that, Michigan doesn't have that depth. I think it'll be a close game for the half. I think Michigan may even be leading at the half, 13-10, 13-7. But I think in the end, Ohio State pulls away and comfortably covers that spread.
Well, here's the interesting thing. That line opened at 8.5.
That is
for
kind of
Ohio State.
Okay.
It got bet to 9.5 and has come back to 7.5.
Well,
Even after the mad tweeter.
you know, it's a 2-touchdown rivalry game, so that's a lot. And let's just say that Ohio State hasn't been impressive in most of their wins.
Neither
If
is
I was
Michigan.
going to do anything, I'd probably take Michigan in the first half. They're probably getting 4.5, 5 points. But I think at the end, Ohio State covers.
Okay.
And I think having that running back out for Michigan is going to be a big factor in it. Puts a lot of pressure on their quarterback for Michigan, who, by the way, I really, really like.
Michigan's QB?
Yeah.
I think it's time to kind of let him open up a little bit with the offense because of the missing running back. So my only thing is I don't know with Ohio State's talent on that defense is just going to force him to throw.
Yeah.
Second half, it's going to be shut down.
It's a game plan now.
I have so much love for Harbaugh. I will not pick against Harbaugh. That's going to be my rule for the rest of my life. I will not pick against him. I'm going to take Michigan, take the points, but I think they win outright in the shoe.
So let me take my hat off and do my Harbaugh impersonation. You'll see it about 20 times on the sideline.
Watch out for the headset.
I think Drew's
That's actually
going
not
with,
that bad.
I think Drew's going with
Is that a pretty good Harbaugh?
with Ohio State.
And he's showing every year of his 80.
Yeah.
There's two players, I don't know why they continue to pan on them and have that goofy, all shucks, dumbass look on their face. And that was Eli Manning, which they consistently did with him whenever he played, and Jim Harbaugh.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go with Ohio State.
Okay, we got two Buckeyes and
One Wolverine.
and one Wolverine.
Well, I'm not so much a Wolverine as a Harbaugh fan.
Yeah. No, I mean, I actually was born in Michigan in Saginaw, so, but
Cool.
yeah, I like Michigan, but I don't think they'll be able to beat Ohio State this year. So with that being said, I think it'll be Ohio State making the final or one of the spots in the Final Four for the playoffs.
Well, I am hoping if Michigan loses this game and loses this game tight, let's go on to the only other game in my mind for this weekend. It's USC Notre Dame. Notre Dame gets to play big spoiler and knock on USC's chances to make the playoffs. Notre Dame beats USC. USC is gone bye-bye. And I don't care how much they beat them by. They beat them by 1 or 2 points. I don't care.
If USC wins convincingly, that's a 4-loss season for Notre Dame, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Does their coach go bye-bye?
No, absolutely not.
No, they like the guy.
No, I like the guy, and it speaks volumes to what they did after their abysmal start, losing to Northwestern and Marshall. Okay, fine, they lost to Ohio State. Everybody loses to Ohio State except Michigan. So I'm not going to hold the loss to Ohio State against them. So the rest of his season has been an upward trend. That's showing leadership. I don't know if he's an X's and O's guys. I don't watch as much Notre Dame football as NBC does, but that's leadership in the locker room to me.
Well, speaking of leadership, what about USC? We were all on the Tennessee coach being coach of the year, but I think we got to flip the switch now and say
USC's coach,
Gundy,
Lincoln
right?
Riley.
Lincoln Riley, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going with Ohio State because they're going to knock off Michigan, and I think USC is going to win that one with Lincoln Riley. There's something about that team that he's brought on with that the quarterback Caleb Williams. I think they're going to beat Michigan, and I think they're going to make it to the Final Four. TCU, not sure yet, and I've been riding them all year, but I see Ohio State, Georgia, USC, and TCU?
I think, yeah.
What is the line on that USC game?
5.5.
Yeah,
USC at home.
Yeah, I'll take USC at home and give the 5. Should be a fun game.
Yeah. No, I will watch that game if I'm not doing anything else.
I think USC makes it in.
If USC wins this game, wins the Pac-12 championship, and and that game with Ohio State, Michigan is not close, I can make the argument. And that now I know that, losses later in the season hurt more, and they shouldn't, because it's still the body of work. If you lose to Ohio State, you lose to the second-ranked team in the country by 2 or 3 points, I don't think it should be held against you.
But the committee, they're still doing that where points matter.
Points matter. Championships matter. If the loser of this game is not in the championship,
Fan base following matters.
So
it's all there.
That's
we'll
why
see.
Tennessee's out, and that's why the Gamecocks blew them out. And
oh my God, Tennessee.
Spencer Rattler. Quick question. So when Spencer Rattler was at Oklahoma, he was a Heisman Trophy candidate. Now that he left Oklahoma, we haven't heard from him again. He's not going to the NFL. He's washed up. He throws 6 touchdowns. Oh, let's look at this guy. He's an NFL prospect. He's going to be drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, or maybe the 2nd round. What?
Yeah.
How does that change so quick?
He throws. He looks good in one game. South Carolina was at 500 going into that game. I mean, you don't give too much credit. Well, we do give way too much credit to quarterbacks and give them too much blame. But
he just answered my question. That's it.
Yeah,
One thing we didn't talk about, off subject here, one guy that's having a really bad week is the offensive coordinator for the Titans. Did you guys hear that story?
No.
About the NFL?
No.
So last week when the Titans upset the Packers.
Oh, yeah, the DWI.
So I read about this DWI and I'm like, man, that was a night. Wasn't that a night game?
Yes.
So it was a night game in Green Bay. I'm like, man, dude just busted out and went to a Green Bay bar and had too many beers and got a DWI. No, this guy got on the plane with the team, flew back to Nashville, probably had to have been 12.
Kept on celebrating.
12:30, and must have hit a club, man, because he got a DWI in Nashville after leading the Titans to victory in Green Bay 5 hours early.
Do they have adult beverages on the team plane? Was he drinking on the plane?
But you're not supposed to. That's
I
why.
doubt nowadays that they're allowing libations on team.
Well, they
plane.
do. They do drink on the planes. That's been said by several players, but they frown upon that because Heineke, remember Heineke for the Commanders, was reprimanded and he had to talk to the NFL because he had a couple of beers.
Yeah, I would think that would be a huge liability to have your players drinking on a plane, and then
Who doesn't drink on a plane? Whenever I fly, I have a couple of drinks.
that's just because you're scared to fly.
No, I love to fly. I'm flying high right now.
So either you guys watching any World Cup? We drew against Wales yesterday. No? Okay,
Yeah,
we're not watching.
Well, I watched a little bit. The biggest thing about the World Cup was they weren't allowing beer in the stadium.
Yeah, well, you
And that
can't
was
have
one-
sex there. You can't have beer there. You can't.
Well, if you don't have beer, you're not going to have that much sex.
But you know what? They're doing that during football. Come on, man. That's
the only time to play a World Cup in Qatar.
no, not right
Is
now.
this because it's too hot in whenever?
Well, we'll play it over there, but then record it and then show us around February when there's nothing going on here. I don't want to watch that during
I am
football
surprised
season.
that was a push because Wales is about the size of Connecticut.
Yes, but
And,
that's where Wrexham is.
Rectum.
Wrexham.
What's that?
Wrexham. Welcome to Wrexham. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's football team.
Football team, yeah.
Okay.
Is it on
that's
Netflix or is it on
Hulu. The Hulu.
Hulu? Yeah.
Fox.
I haven't watched the movie in years, and the last one I did, I walked out of Elvis. That was terrible.
Well, I will tell you, if you haven't watched Welcome to Wrexham and you're doing nothing on Thanksgiving, that is a real nice, feel-good series to watch.
So I will watch that Monday night because I've got nothing else to watch.
That's a good
Monday
point.
night.
That's a good point.
So having said that, guys, let's wrap it up with a little sports. It's a one and done here, so we don't last forever. Play at home if you'd like. And this is our sports trivia. Bob, you're a 2-time champion right now. You've won 2 weeks in a row.
So do I get to ask the first question?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You got honors, Your Honor.
Ooh, excuse
That
me
was
there.
not a question.
That is golf.
That was COVID, not a
That's
question.
golf. John is ready to putt, but decides Bill's ball distracts his eyes and his line of play and asks that Bill's ball be lifted. Does Bill have to mark his ball?
it's probably a trick question, but I can't think of, is it impeding or is it just in his line of sight?
It looks like it distracts his eyes.
I would say that's a personal problem. No, he does not have to, but I never played golf where people didn't mark their balls, so I'm going to say that you've got to mark all balls. So I'm going to say that no, he does not. Oh, God.
How did I get here? Yes, he does have to mark and lift his ball if a ball impedes the other player.
So I got it.
I thought you said no.
No, I said it. I said it didn't make sense, but I play golf and everybody marked their ball.
Okay.
It's on
then
tape.
You're right.
It's on tape.
So that's... Okay, you got it right. Competing sound paths, but here's the thing.
Bob.
I can turn yours off.
All right, Max.
All right.
And the only reason I said that was because I played golf for years and I never saw anyone not mark their ball.
It just seems to be common courtesy, if not a rule.
Exactly.
I have a mark on my ball.
I'm going to do pro football.
Okay.
And see if we can get a mark on this. The quarterback throws a forward pass that is tipped by the tight end. The pass pops up in the air and is caught by an offensive tackle. Is this a legal completion?
Yes.
No. The offensive tackle is ineligible receiver in this situation.
That needs to be checked and updated.
Max, you're one and done again.
Well,
I think it might change if it's tipped off a defensive player.
Right, defensive player. Then it becomes a live ball.
Who did you say tipped it?
An offensive player, wide receiver.
Player. And then the offensive lineman caught it.
So a ball's tipped. It doesn't matter by who.
I think it does matter by who. I think if it's a defensive player,
it's a defensive player.
It's all up in the air.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
it's
if it's
a live ball.
But if it's an offensive player,
I
it's-
got you. Okay.
I think the rule is probably there to avoid designing it that way.
Max, to quote an old boss of ours, quit pushing back.
But he said a tackle. So what if it was a guard or a center?
Well, now we're getting into semantics.
Position names.
Okay. Who am I reading this one to?
I guess it's me.
Okay. A defensive player has been beaten deep by a wide receiver. The defender, who has his back towards the ball, waves his arms into the receiver's face to keep him from seeing the ball. Is this illegal? If so, what's the penalty?
No, it's not illegal. It's not illegal. He's allowed to do whatever he wants as long as it doesn't physically alter the receiver. Now, if he runs into the receiver without keeping his eye on the ball, that's definitely PI. But if it's just no, it's not illegal.
Correct. Everyone that's screaming at the televisions, I hear it at sports bars all the time. They say that's pass interference because he covered and he waved and he covered his eyes, but they're wrong. You are correct, Bob. It's not a penalty. You can do that all day long as long as you don't.
As long as you don't touch him.
All right, Bob, you got 2 in a row. If I get this one, we'll just call it a tie today.
Okay. Oh, I'm asking the question.
You're
Poop.
asking.
Okay. Good radio. Okay. After the, we'll go pro football. There we go. Quarterback steps in front of a receiver on the sideline to intercept a pass. He comes down with the ball and 1 foot inbounds, and his other foot would have been inbounds if he had not been shoved out of bounds by the receiver. Is this an interception or an incomplete pass? I think the answer is wrong. But give me your answer, and then I'll tell you why.
They may have changed it.
Yeah.
I think it's an interception.
Yeah, the car says it's an interception. I can't imagine this rule hasn't changed because the rule is changed on the offensive side, right?
Yeah, but I think it stays an interception.
Yeah, it's listed as interception.
All right, so we get a draw, Max. There's always next week. Well, guys, you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We're doing our early edition Thanksgiving show for you, and we'll be back next Thursday.
Yep.
And you all have a great week. And again, go Ohio State.
Go
Have
Harbaugh.
my Buckeyes.
Go Harbaugh.
OH.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Peace
Stay
out.
safe.
I-O.